welcome to another episode of playonultra podcast. This is episode 151.
Woo!
So yes, what has everybody been up to?
It's been pretty slow for me. Trying to get back into the swing of things as far as getting back on YouTube, trying to get some ideas of what I should be doing. Meanwhile, the main thing that literally has been taking up all my time is binging on Game of Thrones. We are on...
Are you rewatching or watching for the first time?
For me, it is watching for the first time. I only saw season 1. It's rewatching for my partner. We are on season 6 now, which pretty sure the last time we talked, we were on season 1. So that should give you an idea of how much we've been watching. I will say that the worst of a lot of the things is finally over. Season 2 and 3 are definitely the most difficult to watch for those of you who don't like certain adult themes. After that, it gets a little easier to stomach. I mean, there's still there's still a couple of, ugh, kind of scenes, but it's not like, season 2 was, every episode, there was, a sexual assault scene. It was okay. And season 3 just had a lot of, people dying and stuff like that was really hard to watch. And after that, it was okay, anything bad? Oh, wow, we want a full episode and nobody is mad at each other. People are mad, but no one's, assaulting another person. That's great.
Step in the right direction.
So, but no.
What season you're at?
6.
How many seasons are there?
There are 8. I think there are 8, and there's going to be the 9th season coming out.
Okay.
We're in the I think we're in season 6. 4 and 5 went by for me in a blur. I genuinely forgot, how 4 ended and 5 began. So at one point I was oh, we're still in season 4. No, we're in season 5. What? But yeah, I think we're midway through I think we're a little over midway season 6. So then it's season 7, and then season 8 only has 7 episodes, so it's a little shorter. But yeah, one thing I'll give Game of Thrones this, and I've always thought this, even when I first saw the first season, it's casted very well. The acting's very well done. There's really no weak character, truly. As far as acting or anything like that. There are characters you don't like, and maybe even some characters that are not super well written kind of thing, but with the source material, we gotta take what you can get. But no one, there is not a scene of bad acting at all in this entire show. Everyone's very strong. Everyone grows. That's important. And I have to say, the main thing that I think is so impressive with the casting choice is how on earth they were able to pick, because they have to do families, people who kind of look like each other, and especially the main families. Yikes! I would believe they were a family. They all look like they could be in the same family. So, props to that. The story is, the story has definitely parts that I like better than others. But still it's all very interesting. The drama stuff is all very good. I enjoy that part. So, but yeah, getting through it, and once we're done with that, then I think I get a little break, and then it's going to be season 9, and then everyone's going to cry, so it's fine.
So is it past the books or no?
Yes, way past the books. Yeah, most definitely.
I thought he didn't want to do that.
I at first didn't, but I don't have the books, and I don't have time.
No, as in the writer. I thought he didn't want to do that.
Oh, no. They had to go past it. So there are 5 books out right now. Season 4 and 5 were a little liberal in how they took from the books, because book 4 is pretty infamous for being pretty dull. So season 4 and 5 in the show are, I think, a little bit different than season 4 and 5 in the books, but season 5 does end the same way it ends in book 5. But basically what they had to do, because everyone knew they were going to have to go past it, they talked to George R. R. Martin, the author, and he basically wrote to the writers of the show his ideas for what he wanted in the book. So there are some things that happen in the show that are pretty much what he envisioned, that he wanted. And I think the rumor is, so don't quote me on this, but I think the rumor is he sent the writers kind of like just in case they got that far or in case he died. Basically what he felt would be an appropriate ending to the story. Not necessarily the ending he wants to write for his books, but the ending that he feels would be appropriate for the show. And that's basically what the writers are doing. So a lot of the direction of the show is pretty much along with what George R. R. Martin was originally thinking of. But that doesn't, I mean, what's kind of hard now is, like, the book still, I mean, book 6 is still not ready. So, and George R. R. Martin is known for rewriting and deleting and rewriting things a million times. And so a lot of us, a lot of people who are big fans of the books are quite honestly afraid that he's either, like, not going to finish them at this point, or it's going to go in a completely different direction because of the show. So I have no idea what to expect. Especially, I mean, one of the biggest, like, twists in the show that a lot of people called way early on in the books is there's a twist of one of the characters. I don't want to necessarily spoil for people who are still interested in reading it, but it's kind of a well-known twist now. But there's a twist of someone's patronage, not, like, you don't... you assume this person has this character's father is one person. You find it's a completely different person. And that was hinted way early on in the books, and a lot of people predicted it. I remember my brother even mentioning that he believed this even before, like, the 5th book came out. And that was confirmed in the show. They made it canon. But, you know, that could be something, but it was never officially made official in the book. So, like, that could be something that he changes just to be spiteful. I don't know. So, but yeah, they've gone way farther than the books. This is the last season that's meant to, like, end the story. So.
I honestly don't care about Game of Thrones.
It's fine. I mean, I just explain what's going on.
People think I'm weird for not watching it.
A lot of people thought I was weird, especially because it is up my alley as far as stories. It was just, part of it was I wanted to finish the books before I watched it, and also part of it I was also like, it was going to be harder for me to watch it than it was to read about things. So, I don't know, but
Did Checkpoint do any coverage for GDC? I think GDC is happening right now,
Yes, GDC is happening right now. The main thing we're all talking about is Google's new Stadia program
that's
thing.
Part of the news thing. We can talk about it now if you guys want.
We can if you want. I gotta kind of look it up a little bit because I always kind of forget, like, what's going on. But yeah, what's actually really, so the one cool news that is about the whole Stadia thing, whether, you know, regardless of how you feel about it or not, one cool thing is that they hired on, sorry, I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself. I'm sorry?
Phil Harrison, what's his name? Phil Harrison? The former Sony Xbox guy.
Yeah, actually, I was talking about the lady, Jade
lady.
Raymond. Yeah, Jade
She's in charge
Raymond.
of the game dev studio that's working on stuff, right? Yeah.
She basically was like, I'm going to be a VP at Google. And we're like, VP of what? And the main reason we were all interested is because she's worked on Ubisoft and EA and Assassin's Creed games and Star Wars games. Oh. We found out she's leading kind of the whole Google Stadia thing. So, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so for those who don't know, and I'm just opening something up, but so basically Google kind of made their own platform. It's kind of a...
it's game streaming.
Yeah, it's game streaming. So it can be Chromecasted.
Yeah, Chromecasted on your Chrome browser, on phones as well. Yes. So it's meant to be it's meant to be a streaming system. I'm interested because I think it might be an easier way to get games, maybe? I don't know. Maybe.
But at the same time...
Depends on the pricing model they choose, I believe.
That's kind of the thing, is like, I'm kind of excited... Which they never announced. Right, exactly. Because I'm kind of, excited because maybe it'll be a cheaper way to get, like, console-ish games. Because it's almost like a... Because it's almost like a Netflix
you mean like
service.
AAA stuff?
Right. So, like... If it was like a Netflix service, for games, which I don't know is quite the direction they're going towards, but if that's kind of what it sounded like, I'm kind of all for it. But that's really hard to do.
Yeah, no one's ever been able to... they don't own the games. The publishers do. So it depends on whether the publishers want to do it or not.
So I don't know. But at the same time, the other issue, of course, is it is a streaming platform. So it means it must be connected to the internet at all times, which, I mean... That's what Netflix is too, but at the same time, but it's still games, and so it's a little like...
Yeah.
So, I'll be curious to know more about, like, it's really all about, like, the pricing. Is it, like I said, is it kind of more as, like, a rental service, or is it going to be, buy and download games, but you must always be online? Which, I mean, to be fair, like, even with Steam, you don't have to be online, but you kind of do to get, like, the good updates for your games. You have to have access to the internet to make sure you can kind of initially play. You can do offline mode, of course, but even with Steam, you kind of that's kind of the direction things are going. I don't like it, but it's kind of the direction gaming is going.
I think, offline gaming is a thing that specific communities have to do just because their internet is just so shit. And that's why you get people so bloody pissed off when they buy a physical game and then when they open it, it's a fucking key for Steam. And that's not the reason why they bought physical in the first place. But the Google Stadia, they also showed up their Stadia controller, right? Which is basically, I forgot what the face buttons are. As in, I'm not sure if they're using X, Y, A, B or what, but the analog sticks is following the PlayStation 4 setup. So the analog sticks are like parallel. It's not
off-centered. They're on the bottom together. Yeah. It is X, Y, A, B.
X, Y, A, B? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, A is at the bottom. Is that like the Xbox controller?
I think so, yeah.
A is at the bottom, X is left, Y is up, and B is right.
Yeah, I think so. That's
what it is. I'm seeing a picture of it literally right now. So
I've heard people who were able to try it out actually says it feels good and doesn't feel cheap and all that. So
that's
cool.
Good.
It's not like some shitty Android controller. A couple of cool features about it is you can share a link to your game state. So you can literally share saves. So let's say I'm playing like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and I'm or maybe Tomb Raider. I have a puzzle in front of me. I can share saves with people. People can just click on the link and start the game straight away and try to solve the puzzle for me or with me or whatever.
Oh wow.
That's actually really cool. And you can choose what the saves have. So you can choose the saves just have your inventory stuff or the game state or where you are, those kind of stuff. That's actually pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And I think Stadia is, I'm not sure who is it for. I'm not sure if it's for the consumers or for content creators, because like Twitch now, if I'm not mistaken, Twitch has a buy now button. So you can watch somebody play, let's say Assassin's Creed. You can click on the buy now button and it will throw you to the Amazon's page link for that game. So Google Stadia is going to do the same thing, but basically you just click play now on Assassin's Creed. I keep using Assassin's Creed because that's like, I don't know, it's just easy. So you can click play now on Assassin's Creed and they actually used Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I believe, to play test their streaming service, Google, before they actually announced this Google Stadia. It was like at the end of last year, until like January or something, they actually used Assassin's Creed Odyssey to like kind of test out their service and stuff. So you can watch a Ubisoft trailer on the new game, click on play now, you can start playing it now, that kind of thing. And the only thing I don't see people talking about is Google has a reputation for creating really cool products and just fucking not doing anything with it. Discontinuing it or updating it to make it really shit.
Yeah, remember the Google Glass, everybody? What happened
Google
to those?
Glass, there was a few others, and like I use a lot of Google products for like SEO and stuff, and they're updating it to make it even harder to use, which is fuck you, basically. I don't know why you want to do that. Like, there's no point. Fuck you, Google. So that I don't know why nobody's talking about this. It's either they're blinded because it's Google, money, big company. I mean, if it's any company that can do it, it's Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. They have the money and the service to do it. And but it's just I'm not gonna say it's a good thing or a bad thing. Not straight away. It's Google.
It's Google.
Google's chop of quality, like the stamp of quality, is not like 100% nowadays. I don't think.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I think it's just not gonna be what I want. When I first heard of it, it was potentially like I mentioned, like a like a Netflix kind of thing for games, potentially. So it's like streaming it, you know, it might be it's cheaper, but it's a service. But like, I have a feeling it's just going to be... I have a weird feeling that it's basically going to be like a console version of Steam. So yeah, you buy the game. Yeah.
Without the box.
Exactly. You buy the game in the box, and then you can play it. So it's just like another weird console that's like Steam. I don't know.
Yeah.
And those, I mean, there have been lots of, you know, things that try to be like consoleless consoles. I don't know how else to call them, where they're not attached to any console, but they can play any game kind of thing. And I mean, do you guys remember? Oh my gosh, I just read about it the other day. I was like, we talked about this like 2 years ago. Like Ubia. Do you guys remember that? It was a startup.
What is that? Is that one of those? Oya?
Oh yeah, that one. Sorry.
Isn't that the Android box?
Yeah, basically. But, like, remember how that was supposed to be, like, I remember my friends that I knew back, like, in college were all like, oh, it's gonna be revolutionary. And it did nothing, you know? Like, it didn't work, you know? It didn't have the technology. So, I mean, part of it was that it was, by the time it was kind of up and running.
The execution was really bad as well.
Yeah, the execution was poor. And by the time it came out, it wasn't up to date with the technology at the time. Now, Google probably won't have that problem because it's Google.
And plus, you don't have to buy a box.
Right. But, you know, like, I'm just curious to see how they're going to... I mean, like I said, if it's just going to be another way for me to buy my AAA games, but it's connected to streaming, like... Dude, I got my OBS on my PC. I'm all set. You know, I've got my, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm good.
I don't think Americans and UK and a bunch of places in Europe will have any problems.
Yeah.
I don't see this being a big thing in a lot of other countries. Simply because, I mean, it's Google, they have servers everywhere, but we'll see.
I don't even know if, like, I'm wondering if in the Chinese markets even have access to it.
Yeah. And, and they were like, oh, we have so many teraflops. They basically was like 10.47 teraflops, which is like more than the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 combined or something. Oh, look at our teraflops. All these fucking teraflops.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait and see, like, what's the price, how it actually works, before I kind of go forward. We'll see what happens.
What I'm interested in is it a new framework for developers? Do they have to learn a bunch of new stuff to make games for it? Or is it they're partnering with Unreal Engine and Unity, so there's that. But what about people who don't want to use those engines?
Right.
There are other engines, like Game Maker and like a bunch of other stuff.
But yeah, I mean, is this basically trying to be like a console, or is it trying to be something different? Because those are two different things.
We'll have to see. It is Google, so I honestly I don't have my hopes up.
I think, I mean, it might just be a blip in the thing. I think people are just excited just because Google's finally getting into gaming.
Yeah.
Well, it's new. And Google's getting into gaming.
Rich company that's doing it. It's not like it's not like a company who's only made racing games.
It's not a Kickstarter company.
Yeah, it's not like a company who's just made racing games and saying, we're gonna create the most powerful console.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Google Stadia. Everybody go and give them their money or something, whatever. So yeah, what else did you do? Did you play any games, Sarah?
I have not really played any games, unfortunately. I've been watching Game of Thrones when I have any downtime, so it has been few and far between.
That's a commitment.
Yes, yes, it is.
Will Google Stadia make consoles obsolete? No. Stop with the clickbait, you piece of shit.
Oh no. That's what I mean. Ouya tried to do the same thing. That was the whole point of Ouya, and did it work? No, it didn't.
I get it. It's a very North American-centric point of view.
It's clickbait stuff.
But even then, North America is not exactly known for having the best internet. So I just don't understand where they're coming with. Like, you know, like Romania or some shit has like one of the best internets in the world, way past North America.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. United States, I mean, our internet companies are horrific.
So like, you should understand how North America has really shitty internet, and not
it's
come up with
horrible.
such clickbaity bullshit like this? I mean, come on now. Come on, motherfuckers.
I'm just waiting for
I'm just
the
annoyed with people
Stadia to
these
come
days.
out and for them to say that like you need Google Fiber for it to work well. And you're like,
You can't get it everywhere, right? They have to
Google
fight
Fi- oh, no,
legislation.
not at all.
They have to like fight
Google
legislation or
Fiber
some
is-
shit like that.
I don't even remember. It's really dumb. The way that like anything works as far as our internet companies is just really dumb and horrible. And monopoly, they're all monopolies. Land of capitalism, we're all monopolies. Anyway, but I don't remember what was the issue with the Google Fiber. I remember that in Detroit.
I'm pretty sure it's just company cock blocking, right?
I'm guessing, yeah. I remember in Detroit, they actually, Quicken Loans in Detroit tried to ask for Google Fiber to be laid down there, and they were denied, and I don't really know the details. And so
I know
actually,
there was one city they had to pull out because they didn't bury the fiber deep enough. So it was getting
which I think was the
uncovered
other
by
problem
stuff.
too. Yes,
Oh.
I think that was the other problem
They had
too.
to cut
It was more than just like company cock blocking. There was some other stuff going on too. But funny story, in Quicken Loans in Detroit, they actually they asked for Google Fiber, and Google basically they were told no. So they basically hired some guys that basically worked on Google Fiber to make Rocket Fiber. So now some parts of Detroit, obviously they're really wealthier business districts, have basically Google Fiber, quote unquote. Now, if only they would spread that elsewhere, but haven't done that yet.
Fo, is GDC at San Francisco? No. Yeah.
This year, is it always in the same city?
I have no idea.
It might be. I know a lot of my coworkers are there.
It's in
so that would
San
make sense.
Francisco. Yeah, it's in San
I didn't
Francisco.
know if we flew them to a place. Okay, it's in, yeah.
Okay. The only thing I've been seeing about it on my Twitter feed about GDC is like the Google stuff and basically women having their gamer cred question. That's it. That's pretty much
Same
it.
old, same old.
Same old, same old.
Same old.
Gamers. Yeah. For what you do? Did you play the video games?
I didn't play a ton of video games. I played a little bit. I'm playing a point and click called Legend of Hand, which is a point and click martial
Sounds like a
arts kind of game.
JRPG. Okay.
Yeah, so I've had one fight so far. It's mostly just a point and click, but you do fight occasionally. And the one fight I had zero feedback. Like, it gives you all of these moves, and it throws some numbers at you, but I can't make heads or tails of it. And I just kind of clicked randomly, and I died twice, and then the third time I didn't change my strategy, and I won. So I don't know.
So it's literally just inserting gameplay for gameplay's sake?
I don't know. I can't tell if there's some deep system that I'm just missing. Like, there's so much there. I feel like so yeah, I need more data points. I need to get into more fights, and then we'll see. But the humor's pretty good. It's all hand drawn. It's kind of nice. It's a very indie game, but I'm liking that. I think that's all I played.
Remind me. Oh, you've been playing Breath of the Wild. Nice.
Yeah.
Remind me. Did you enjoy Tacoma or not?
I did enjoy Tacoma.
And you said it's sort of like Gone Home, right? Sort of.
I
No,
think
you haven't
so.
played
I
Gone
haven't
Home.
played Gone Home.
But it is a walking simulator and
Yes, it's a
little
very
to no
yeah.
puzzles.
Yep. Everything you
Okay.
do is for your own enjoyment at untangling more of the narrative.
Is it horror?
No.
Okay. Because Humble is giving it for free right now. It's not
Yeah,
a key
I
for
recommend
Steam.
it.
It's like a DRM download, DRM free
Oh, okay.
download. So I'm thinking of like just trying it out. Is it like a 2-hour
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, I think it took me 3 hours because I had to
Okay,
read a lot.
I think
out
I'll try
loud.
it out.
They recorded it. So yeah, 2 hours.
Because
before
I
you
believe
read
it is made by the Gone Home people, I think.
It is, definitely.
Okay. And I really enjoy Gone Home. Okay, that's cool.
And I don't know why, but at the end of the credits, they thank the Camp Santos people. So I don't know if there was some sort of like help from the Firewatch guys or not.
I believe that the Firewatch guys are made up of some Gone Home people. I'm not sure. I'm not
that
super
could
sure
be.
about it. But those Firewatch guys, they're making this like not Egyptian. You play like Tomb Raiders and going in like ancient Egyptian monuments and
Okay.
stuff, pyramid
That sounds
stuff. I
cool.
believe. Yeah. There might be like a 2 protagonist system or something. Judging from the trailer.
Okay. Breath of the Wild's going okay. I got to so the main thing of Breath of the Wild is kind of got like this Shadow of the Colossus kind of thing. There's 4 great siege engines
Yeah.
and you have to restore them, whatever. So I got to the first one Well, I didn't get to the first one. I got to the first city, like the Zora city, the Mer people. They're like, hey, you need to help fix our siege engine, but you need lightning arrows. Go fight this guy. He shoots lightning arrows, and that'll work. And I'd already fought this kind of guy before. He's not like a unique boss. And I feel like everything, like all my Zelda experience, I haven't really played a console Zelda before. I've only played handheld Zeldas. And I feel like in a lot of those games, it's all about chip damage. Like, things deal like a quarter of a heart, 1 heart, like, oh, holy cow, that did 1 heart of damage? That's crazy. Anything that does more than 1 heart of damage is supposed to auto-kill you, essentially. In this game, in Breath of the Wild, everything is doing like 6 hearts of damage. And I feel like, I don't know if I'm under-geared, or if I'm just supposed to have a buttload of hearts. Like, I feel like I'm playing the game wrong still. So
you can upgrade your heart meters, right? By getting like some thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to do any quests. I'm just going to explore the world, which is cool and fun, but really aimless and not motivating at all. So I'm just kind of doing it while watching TV. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it gets better.
Would you say it's too non-linear? Almost.
Almost. I don't know that I'd quite go as far as that, but I wouldn't disagree
it's too much
strongly
freedom.
If someone a little bit. And it's also really annoying too, because this is weather system that it's supposed to be kind of cool because it's supposed to lead to like emergent gameplay, but so far it's just always just really annoying. Like, oh, it's raining? Cool. That means I can't climb. Oh, there's lightning? Cool. That means I have to take off all of my weapons and armor because I get hit by lightning.
Oh, anything that's metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that's metal.
Like, how is this fun? It's not, it's just a hassle. It's just annoying. There's no benefit to it. It's dumb. But one of the things I watched while playing Zelda was a movie from the 90s I'd never heard of.
How the hell do you watch anything while playing Zelda?
I multitask a lot. I play it on the handheld. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't watch anime, obviously, because I'm not going to read at the same time.
That's true.
There's a movie from the 90s called The Witches, which is based off of an old Roald Dahl book. And holy crap, I am so glad I never saw this movie growing up, because it is horrifying. Just, like, it's all practical effects, and the visuals are just so graphic. Like, the main plot point is there are witches, and they turn people into mice by, like putting like droplets of potion in their food or whatever. And so there's like all these cuts of like children, and like they're like, the way it happens is they kind of swell up and they belch out like this green gas, and then like they sort of like twitching, and like it'll like cut back and forth at them where their faces get more and more makeup as a mouse, and then they just kinda,
exorcism
like,
shit.
It's insane and gross.
That would have terrified me as a child too.
Yeah.
I did not. I'm better with it now, but I like any kind of body modification horror. I was really bad with, to the point that like even simple non-horror stories of like, you know, these are just children books I knew growing up. Like the girl who would wake up with different skin color things on her, like she'd have like different skin colors. Yeah, or the story of the girl who like had antlers, like woke up with antlers or something.
What was it? What was the name? It was that Higgledy-Piggledy, or
I forget. It was something like that, though. The whole point was that she didn't want to admit that she liked to eat lima beans, so she was lying and her skin color changing.
So
but anyway,
what are you guys saying is you don't like Animorphs?
I was not. I didn't go into Animorphs.
I liked Animorphs.
I was never. My brother read those books, but they creeped me out. The covers creeped me out. But yeah, like any like weird body like changes like that, even like the simple benign stuff like that, it grossed me out as a kid. So any of those kinds of transformation things were just nope. Absolutely not.
Mrs. Pigglewiggle?
Yeah,
I think it's Mrs. Pigglewiggle.
Just to go back to the Animorphs thing just real quick.
Okay.
Just in case, I'm not sure if you guys know who LGR is. It's a YouTuber, Lazy Game Reviews, and basically all he does is like review old hardware, old school hardware, old school PCs, and old school games.
The old Animorphs game?
So he actually reviewed.
I remember playing that game.
The software that the artist made, the artist used to make the covers.
Oh, cool.
So it's really cool. Go ahead, check out a video or something like, just Google LGR Animorphs or something. The artist did say that he used other things other than just the software, but it's super cool.
That is
He
cool.
actually managed to turn himself into a cat or something. I forgot. Yeah, it's really cool.
Like, now I can appreciate, like, back then, yeah, like, those things really, like, they creeped me out.
Yeah.
I was not a fan.
And that was that cartoon where the kid turns into a car. What the fuck was that again?
Oh yeah, it's like a temperature thing, right?
Yeah, his
Or
hands
something.
hands turns into the front wheels or something.
Oh, I only know about that because of parodies in like Robot
Yeah.
Chicken or
Robot
Rick and
Chicken,
Morty.
yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that one, but it was probably before
That was a
my
pretty
time.
shitty, stupid, but funny cartoon.
Even
yeah.
Willy Wonka was terrifying enough. Like,
Oh yeah! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! No, okay, sorry. Can I explain how Violet scared the crap out of me as a child?
you know, some people have a
So-
fetish for that. There's like a whole blueberry girl fetish. It's insane.
Ugh. But yeah, no, when I was little, like I hated that movie because of Violet. Anything about like you blowing up, even now actually it's a big no-no for me. I don't like any kinds of things about like you blowing up basically where like you just get bigger like just like a balloon, like So that movie especially made me, and the main reason it terrified me too was I kind of get it now, although I still think it's kind of bullshit because the whole story is kind of bullshit. Sorry, Rhoda, I know it's a classic, but like the main thing was I didn't know what her sin was because
Yes.
Violet,
She's just
doesn't
competitive. She's just competitive.
yeah. Because, like, she didn't really have any real, like, sin, like, thing that she did wrong or anything. And so,
Yeah.
like, because when I watched the movie, of course, I identify with the female characters, right? And of course, there's the bitchy girl character. I don't like her, obviously. But Violet seemed nice. And so when she, like, you know, basically died, I was like, why? And she dies in the worst way possible. And it's just like, no. So yeah, nope.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I feel like
Gene Wilder.
Violet should have won. Because, like, so Veruca Salt, she's the worst. No redeeming qualities of Veruca Salt.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
Veruca Salt. Augustus Gloop, he's a glutton. I get it. Still seems like he's probably qualified to run a candy factory, so maybe he should have won.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mike TV,
Yeah.
I guess he likes TV too much, which the author had a big thing against TV. I don't know. He's definitely worse than, in terms of being qualified to run a candy factory, he's worse than Augustus. Charlie is just boring. He's the blandest character of everything.
Yeah.
Violet
and technically
should
broke
have
the rules,
won.
too.
Yeah,
Violet
Violet
should
should
have
have won. She's competitive too, so it makes sense that she'd win.
That made me
That's
so mad.
dumb.
Anyway, that's my rant about that.
But yeah, I definitely agree. Body morph stuff, super, super weird.
So you're watching The Witches, you said? I never saw
I
that
watched
one.
it. Yeah, I kind of
movie,
recommend
right?
it just because it's fascinatingly
Yeah.
weird. It's a movie. It stars, so the main witch is what's her name? Who plays Morticia Adams? That's her most famous role. Who I really like her.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the one that looks like Cher.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
No idea.
And Rowan
never made that
Atkinson
connection, but you're absolutely
is
right.
the like hotel concierge guy, so that's kind of cool to see him.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think Henson does the effects. Otherwise, it's not well written. It's just interesting because it's so 90s and so horrifying. Because I mean, spoiler alert, they win the day by tricking the witches into turning themselves into mice. And it turns out that when you stomp on mice that have been made with the witch potion, they just like explode in green slime.
Yeah.
And it's super horrible. It's like, how is it? It's so graphic and it's gory. It's basically just blood. Like, how did they get away with this? It's so bad.
Angelica Houston. That's the...
Yes, that's her name.
Houston?
Yes.
Angelica Houston?
She's in Ice Pirates, my favorite.
I thought it was
Roman
Houston,
movie.
but it's spelled with just a U and no O, so I wasn't sure how to
Oh,
pronounce
sorry.
that.
Okay.
Huston.
Yeah,
No
Huston
idea.
maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Houston.
More
English
So,
is weird.
Yeah. Another really random ass shit that I found out a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So do you guys know Rebellion Games? So they're quite old. So like early 90s they've been around, but they mostly been making like spin-offs on like handhelds and also like smaller games. And they are more recently more known for the Sniper Elite games, the Zombie Army
Okay.
trilogy, and the Strange Brigade game.
Okay.
So I was recommended a YouTube channel about medieval weaponry and medieval armor and all that medieval kind of stuff. Like, what do they eat back then? Yada, yada, yada. The host of that show is one of the founders of Rebellion Games, and it's just fucking random as shit.
So random.
Yeah, it's so random.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I guess he's super into because we were just wondering like where the fuck does he find the money to like get all this armor? He's like he has a stable of horses and shit. And I was like, where the hell did he get all this money? I was just thinking maybe he's just some like rich person or like old money. Nah, he just founded a video game company. So yeah. Which is
Nice.
Random fact of the day, I guess. I played a couple of stuff. Okay, I've been watching Lucifer.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
I'm at season 3. A few more episodes to finish season 3, and season 4 is coming out soon on Netflix because they picked it up. And Lucifer is basically such a shit show, but it's something I cannot stop watching. I don't know why. Like, the characters are just fucking annoying. The writing just keeps getting worse and worse as the season goes by. I just want to keep watching because there's just so much potential in the story, I guess. So it's just a very interesting premise, I suppose. I wouldn't know if I would recommend watching it, honestly. It just gets worse and worse as the season goes by. But I also been playing The Council. It's that so it's a it's not a AAA game or anything. It's not by a huge team. It's basically imagine a Telltale game, but you can actually make choices, and it will actually affect the story. And you actually have a RPG like skill tree, so you can get better at deception or not deception, manipulation, those kind of thing. And there's like a point system, so every time you want to manipulate somebody, you need to use a certain amount of points depending on how difficult it is. So the better you are at the skill, the less points you have to use, until at one point you don't have to use any points. And if you don't have any if you don't have that particular skill, that option is not available to you at all. So it actually has some really cool concepts. It's not great. Like, the first 2 episodes were really interesting because it's basically like it's like the 1700s, close to the 1800s. You're this like you're part of a secret society. There's like a couple of secret societies. You've been called to a meeting on this island, like privately owned island, where George Washington is there, Napoleon Bonaparte is there, and people are just talking and making decisions for everybody else. Those kind of stuff.
I remember the trailer for
Assassin's Creed.
Or something.
Yeah. So and so you play a French detective, occult detective, and your mom also like is a expert in the occult, and she created this secret society for the occult. So you're part of a secret society, and your mom is also part of this secret society where they have meetings about, the fate of the world and stuff like that. Okay, so like there's voice acting in this game, and I believe the developers are French, like they're legit in France. So like Napoleon Bonaparte has like the really stereotypical like French accent when he's speaking English and stuff like that, which is fine. George Washington has this like deep American accent, and I was like, oh, that's cool, that's immersive. Your character is fucking French and speaks with the dumbest American accent. I don't even fucking know why.
That's so annoying. That's so annoying.
And your main character has the worst voice acting of all the characters.
Oh no.
And
They
obviously
speak
he's
the most too.
Yeah, he speaks the most. And I'm just like, why just give me the stereotypical French accent. That's way better than this French detective speaking American. So annoying. And you guys are French. I would rather play this game in French and just read subtitles, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah. I get it. It's so
Oh my
bad.
God.
It's really annoying.
So the voices is just so bad, so bad, and the worst part is the main character is the worst one. Oh my god, I hate him so much. So it's actually cool. The story kind of gets unhinged a little bit. I'm on like episode 4. There's 5 episodes. I really like. It has some really cool ideas. Some of the I like that secret society stuff is cool, but eventually it just gets fucking ridiculous and really lazy in the writing. So I would recommend it. I got it at 50% off. I think it's a good price at that. It's actually quite fun if you're looking for a Telltale style game that can make choices and like some RPG stuff.
Yeah, that sounds cool. For some reason, I thought the game was like
an action game.
No, I thought it was like a multiplayer game. Like which one to use the trigger.
Oh yeah,
and
like
then
a
murder.
werewolf or something.
Yeah, I thought it was like a werewolf kind of game. I don't know why.
I think the setting maybe. The setting does have that
probably.
what's that game where you try to find a murderer in some manor house kind of feel to it?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them, I guess, yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. So
there's one with the boat or something. Yeah.
There's actually one slight spoiler, I guess. There's actually a murder that will happen in one of the episodes, and then you have to do the investigating because you're like the detective and stuff.
Oh.
So it did give that vibe a bit. But yeah, it's really cool. It's like the setting is really cool, and this guy is like super rich, so he has like all the famously known paintings of all the eras and stuff, and there's like some nice music and stuff, but there are some really annoying UI UX decisions. So like they have like this appropriate to the era kind of music, and then suddenly when you confront somebody, so like a confrontation will happen where you have to choose the right thing to say, and when the confrontation is successful, you get a big ass text, confrontation successful, with like a ring, and it's just weird,
It's like Phoenix Wright cheesy, like where they put the confetti at the end of the game.
So it's just like it just breaks the immersion a bit. It's just but the biggest immersion breaker is that fucker's voice. Oh my god. I'm not even sure.
Texas voice.
And I feel like it's a French guy trying to do an American accent, which is like I'm not too sure, but it's just like it doesn't sound very like
that's all
authentic
source
American.
of wrong.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah, just talk like French. You're playing a French guy. I don't blame the voice actor. I blame the director. Not the voice actor's fault. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing another game called Mars Tactical Base Defense. It's a game that's coming out early access in like a few days in early April. You basically mine for resources and create base defenses, like a tower defense style game, and you're on Mars fighting zombies because Mars zombies is a thing, I suppose.
Cool. Sure, I'm on board.
I believe there's like some alien reason why astronauts became zombies or whatever. But yeah, it's not bad. It has like a skirmish mode where you can choose like how many waves, how powerful the waves are, what the waves will have, and choose how much resources, those kind of stuff. There's a campaign mode, and then once it comes out early access, you can create your own maps and then share maps and then download other people's maps. So it's a pretty solid game, I would say. Aesthetic wise, I'm not so hot on it. I mean, it's just a regular sci-fi, like contemporary sci-fi style aesthetics on the towers. But I mean, overall, it's a pretty okay game.
Okay. As much as I like style, I will take substance over style.
There's also a pretty cool there's a pretty cool thing where you can choose to play the machine gun turret in first person mode, so that's pretty cool. So the last thing I played is Splatoon 2, because there's a demo out. There's a demo out for a week, and once you download that demo, you get a code for the Nintendo Switch Online trial for 7 days. Which is annoying, by the way, because for me to try the trial, I have to put in my credit card information, and I'm like, why? And it's also set to auto renew, yay! So I had to go in, and then I say, no, don't fucking auto renew this shit. So yeah, Splatoon 2 is about playing Squid Boys and Squid Girls and shooting ink everywhere, and I love it. What the fuck? I did not expect to love it as much.
I haven't played it, but I've heard it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, seriously, because it's like it's a competitive shooter that doesn't require shooting. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just so fun. And it feels so satisfying to cover the ink, cover the levels in ink and stuff. Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. I really want it now. Fucking hell, Nintendo. Fuck you.
How does it? It always looked to me like it kind of reminded me of Super Mario Sunshine.
I've never played that, but
Oh, okay.
are you talk? Is there a? That's the one with
Just-
the jetpack, right?
Yeah, the water jetpack. You spray water around.
Because you gotta clean up the place.
Oh yeah.
I never
Yeah.
played it, but I know about it because I always thought the story was silly.
So yeah, I love it. My Squid Girl is so cute. I love this
Oh,
game so
no.
much.
Stop. You're gonna main Squid Girl in Smash Bros. Now.
Luckily, I don't play Smash Bros. If they give me a demo, I might. I don't know. But Smash Bros is something I can never figure out. I don't actually understand.
I just recently got into it, and not even that much. Pretty much it was just because I actually have access to somebody who has it, so I can actually play it and try it out. I honestly just kind of like, exploring all the characters and the characters I like and just mashing buttons, but
Yeah.
it's not... It is definitely one of those games that, like, I hated playing it at parties because I never learned how to play it, and so people are like, Sarah, you should play. And be like, okay, how do you play? And they go, just mash buttons. I was like, well, how? You just floated. You just jumped back from, like, almost dying. How did you do that? Oh, it's a button. Thanks. Then I die within the first 5 minutes, and I have to wait, like, another 30 minutes for the match to end. So,
There's a long ass match.
well, not... Okay, I'm being sorry.
Yeah.
I'm being a little
Yeah, I
dramatic,
know. But it's
yeah,
like,
but,
I guess because the people know how to avoid the whole getting
Well,
out
that's
of
what I
level
mean.
thing.
Is like
Yeah.
the people who play are really good, so I die in the first 5 minutes, and I just wait there, and I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. This is boring and embarrassing. But
Yeah,
I will
that's
say
kind
I've been
of-
playing. Yeah, I've been playing Ultimate a little bit more, and I'm not
Yeah,
like
there's
great.
single player
but-
stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so like I kind of played on my partner's game because it's a long single player, so I kind of helped do some of the like easier fights and just kind of get through it. And I've played at a party with it, and like I never won, but I was able to at least hold my own with a couple characters that I figured out how to use, so that's something at least. I now know how to jump.
And I think the community for Splatoon 2 overall is pretty okay. Like
Yeah,
I have a couple of issues. So like, I'm like level 6 or some shit, and everybody is like level 35, 40, 50, 60, 70. And then they group me with like one level 30, two other level 5s, and me. I'm like, the other team has like 4 level 70s. I'm like, can you fucking not do that? Come on, man. And like, there's also like people who just hunt for kills instead of covering the levels in ink. Also, there's also that problem, but overall it's pretty okay. It's just fun.
yeah.
I love it. I want to give them my money. Shit.
When's it supposed to come out?
Oh, it's already out for like 2 years.
Oh.
They basically just gave
2?
up Splatoon 2. Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
wow,
2017 game, and
Show us what I know.
yeah, there's a lot of people still, and they just basically, until the 25th there'll be this free demo, and with the free demo you'll get a free 7-day trial of Nintendo Switch Online. So yeah, with the Nintendo Switch Online free thing, I also tried out that Tetris 99 Battle Royale thing.
Yeah.
I don't
That
know what
game's
the fuck
free,
was
right?
happening. That game is free with a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, and I didn't know what the fuck was
I thought
happening.
it was just free, period. That makes
Nah.
a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. But yeah. So you guys want to get into some news?
Let's get into some news.
News. So we already talked about Google Stadia.
Yeah.
I guess a small one. The BioWare community manager says that developers do not want to reply to hostile replies. I wonder why.
How strange.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did not see that one coming. The Axiom Verge developer and distributor recently came out with a physical version for the Wii U.
Oh.
And a couple of things came out that's not very nice about it. Basically, the publisher that they chose to work with took a bunch of their money and like not do anything with it. Yeah.
Dang.
Because they got
Sucks.
because they work with limited run games, and then there's this other publisher, and limited run games gave them money to do the thing, but they did do the thing. And the publisher was like also telling the developer that, hey, we're gonna do something cool for you. Every sale we will give back like 75% to you for your kids like cancer treatment, but they didn't do that. So like, yeah.
All right.
So that's that, I guess.
Happy story.
Very happy. So the there's new Epic Games exclusives.
Yes.
The Outer World is exclusive to Epic Games, probably for the 1 year thing as well.
Oh yes, that's the big drama.
Yeah, and another one is Control. Control is a game created by Phoenix Point. Phoenix Point is made up of people from the XCOM team, and Control is a XCOM style game that is also being exclusive at Epic Games. And as usual, everybody's like, oh, Epic Games exclusives, gamers or something. The other thing that I find with this that's really annoying is companies using this whole debacle to market their games. So like CD Projekt Red, they are making Cyberpunk 2077, right? And CD Projekt Red sister company also is running GOG, which is another game distribution channel.
I didn't know that.
So they were like, oh, our Cyberpunk 2077 will come out for all platforms, all consoles, yada yada yada. Like, really? Did you really have to tell us that? You guys, like, you make more money if you put it on GOG. You get 100%. Do you really have to tell us that?
Yeah.
I mean, are people really that... Oh my god. To be fair, the community manager was replying to a question saying, are you guys going to put it on Epic Games Store exclusive? And I just want to say, why would you ask that question in the first place? You should know that their sister company owns GOG and they would make more money just by selling it on GOG. Why would they put it on Epic Games? Why? Oh my god.
They just want to make things awkward. It's fine.
Using their brains to think, and gamers, name a more iconic non-duo. Name one. Motherfuckers. Jesus. It's so lazy marketing.
I know.
It's just annoying. Everything annoys me these
Which is
days.
too bad, because I really want to play the game. I really want to play... Well, I want to hear more about it, but I really want to play it.
Well, I'll still get Cyberpunk 2077, and I'll choose whichever is the cheapest one available to me.
Yeah,
Basically,
fair enough.
yeah. And I actually really want to play The Outer Worlds as well. Honestly, I really want to play that. It really depends. If it's by Obsidian, right? And I might wait a while because bugs, I suppose. They are pretty popular with the bugs. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. There's also been a couple of articles and videos about game studios exploiting apolitical politics, because like the Division 2 just came out, and the Division 2 is literally about terrorists releasing a disease or a virus, and the setting is in Washington DC, and Ubisoft is like, oh, it's not political at all. It's like, nah, we're not making a stance on anything.
Can we just stop using the word like political for like
anything?
Talking about anything? Like, I just like, I mean, I'm only saying that because I'm really tired of anyone using. I mean, because thankfully they've gotten quieter, but you still hear it where like if the lead character's female, it's like, oh my gosh, the games are getting so political, and you're like, why is my gender a political thing? And if it is, then too bad.
It shouldn't be. But it is, but it shouldn't be. But it is.
There's exploitative stuff, and that sucks.
Yeah. And
I guess,
and the only reason why is because white guys are the default. So if it's a black guy, if it's a different gender, whatever.
But that's what I mean. Like, I guess here's, yeah. I mean, I guess like when I hear like, oh, it's exploited or whatever, I just kind of. It's just very frustrating because, yeah, basically what you're saying is, like, white, straight male is default, and anything that deviates from that is political? And it's like...
Which makes no sense.
Okay, then I guess it is, then. Okay, then too bad. Your games are political. It's kind of what I want to say at this point. Like, I think being afraid of the word and using it as a dirty word on games is just kind of...
Lazy?
Like, where does it... Well, it's just lazy, and where does it... And, like, I'm going to use Star Wars as kind of an example here. The whole, like, core of the original Star Wars was about, like, a small rebel group trying to overthrow, like, a dictator, you know, overlord kind of thing. That's political. Like, that's a political statement. But and that's, like, you're always going to get stories like that. Any Final Fantasy game ever is political by the stretch of the imagination.
FF7 was always... about the environment and stuff, right?
Environmental.
It shouldn't be, but
political.
It shouldn't be, but it is, yeah.
So it's at this point, it's just a dumb argument. I mean, especially, I don't know about other places in the world, but I mean, American politics is
There's a difference between being political and something capitalizing on being political. Or being political.
Yeah, but that's not what these people are complaining about. Like, I'm not hearing, because like in the whole thing of like capitalizing on political just rings really dull to me these days. Well, I just am not. And I guess when I hear like capitalizing on political, to me it's just kind of at this point a kind of a dull argument, because it's like, okay, cool, Captain Marvel's out. Well, they're capitalizing on the fact that women want to be seen more. Okay, yeah, I do. Like, too bad.
I mean, even if
I'm going to
if
pay
that's
money
all
for
the
this.
substance it has and it's a shit piece of media, that's not great.
Well, no, but I guess at this point, like, everything can be shitty, because we have, I guess, here's my problem. But no, I'm not saying I want shitty media, but like when you start to, here's my problem. When you have a movie that stars a straight white male, it's bad. It's just bad to be bad. The minute that you have a, female lead movie that's bad, all of a sudden it becomes the problem with it being like it was being exploited or whatever. Like, again, I don't like things being exploited either, trust me. But like at this point, you get this weird doublespeak, because then the problem with it going that way is then you get the other crazy people that are like, oh, well, that means we can't have stories with women in it. It's like, stop it.
I understand what.
So,
I don't know. I didn't hear this talk about Mortal Engines, which is a bad movie starring a woman. I didn't hear any political talk about that. Even that's a very political movie from a literal sense.
Which is good. I mean, I don't know.
Which is weird, because like Mortal Engines was a book for how long? For a while, right?
Yeah, a while.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, it's normal, because I guess the character in the books is the lady lead. I'm assuming is the different character. Okay, so I don't understand why Captain Marvel is any different, because the comics have existed for a long ass time as well.
Well, no,
so
I don't get it. Like I don't.
So I guess what Sarah is saying is also the double standards. So.
It's really, I don't think we're disagreeing, Fo. I'm just very frustrated.
So you know who I think is exploiting? Fucking J.K. Rowling. She's fucking exploiting right now.
She really is. I mean, that's
honestly,
that's
seriously.
True. The worst
she's exploiting
example
minorities. Fucking
Ready
hell.
Player One. Not the worst, but the most egregious to me.
For like gaming culture kind of stuff,
Just
like
the most pandering.
Hmm.
The least substantial, most transparent, one-dimensional bullshit.
Yeah.
So I believe what J.K. Rowling is doing is exploiting, but
I would say J.K. Rowling's
just for
stars making a thing that stars like a non-male white character is not exploiting straight away. It kind of depends on like the intentions and all that. I guess.
I like that division.
Intentions are the main thing.
Yeah, I like that division. I think, like, because I don't mind if you choose to have a female character in a story just because you want it. Like, I want more of that. I want more where the default isn't the straight white male. I want to be more like where we just go beyond the, like, oh yeah, the main character's black because, and that's fine.
Yeah, and I always see argument that, as long as it fits the story, I don't mind a non-white male character, but like, the only reason you say that is
weird. Yeah.
That's kind of what I worry when we focus too much on the whole exploitive, is getting into that direction. I think is more what I mean, Fo, is the whole like, well, it needs to make sense. It's like, well, character can be who the character can be. Exactly. But I will agree with Shar.
It's exploitive when it doesn't make sense. Oh, I mean, I guess like when it's just shoehorned in, kind of.
Shoehorned in,
or shoved in your face.
But I guess like
forced.
But I guess like where do we draw that line? Like, like I said, J.K. Rowling is a great example.
J.K. Rowling is like the exhibit A right now.
J.K. Rowling is a great example of exploitive. I will give it that, because literally it's like she just made it up. And that's what I mean.
And she's also actively hurting these communities by doing this.
Right. And she also is not very supportive at all.
I fucking hate her right now. And the only reason why she doesn't get as much backlash, I would say, is because everybody's gay or something.
Black or something? Okay.
No, that wasn't. I mean, that wasn't really that was a different thing.
Hermione's Black is on the stage play, and she basically so the Blu-ray of the latest Grindelwald or whatever it's called movie came out.
Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, there was interviews, and she was like, Grindelwald and what's his name?
Dumbledore?
Yeah, had tons of kinky sex or some shit or something.
Oh, really?
Like had tons and
because Dumbledore being gay was at least.
Basically, she's just like, they had tons of sex without showing it.
Yeah.
I thought she's a good writer. Hasn't she learned about show not tell or some
She's
shit?
not a good writer.
I don't actually know.
She's very okay.
I never read.
She's not a bad writer.
The whole Dumbledore being gay was a little bit more not referenced, but like at least hinted at the books. But she's also come out and said a lot of things like, oh, like there's something about like Jewish, like she's like, oh yeah, well a lot of characters could be Jewish and you have no idea, and it's like,
I think what would be really great if she would like hire a team of non-white writers to write these stories that she once made in the Harry Potter world.
I'd be curious to see where they would go.
Like, I mean, she can write the stories as well.
I
but
don't want tokenism either, though.
That's true.
No. But that's what I mean is like, but I think you.
But doing that is way better than what she's doing right now.
That is absolutely true. Tokenism is better than this. Yeah.
But no, we don't want,
because she'll be hiring somebody to create stories that they know best. You know what I mean? Like, especially in this Harry Potter world where everybody wants to be represented or something or whatever.
Right.
Or whatever.
But yeah,
so
but
it is like finish Crimes of Grindelwald.
Apparently, it's really bad. I heard that.
Yeah, I didn't see it in theaters. I was watching.
I
it
enjoyed
at
the
home,
first one.
I
thought it was fun. The first one was fun.
The first one was fun, but it had some really annoying stuff to me. Where like there's really horrible things going on, like and people dying.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I watched it just as a movie. So I guess that helped.
Fair, yeah. I actually never got to see Fantastic Beasts. I never got a chance to. I wanted to, I just never got a chance to.
I just thought it was like an interesting thing, like a bunch of different monster things, and like that's cool.
Yeah. I also have a semi-personal vendetta against what's the fat guy's name in that movie? To be body shame him. No, the American guy.
Oh, the human, the non-magical person.
Yeah, the non-magical guy. I was in an improv show with this woman, not a class, and she said we were like to warm up. We were sharing like embarrassing stories, sort of, and she said that she'd auditioned for this group in LA, and she thought she did really well, and she didn't get it. And she eventually found out it's because that guy was already part of the group, and he told people that she couldn't be part of the group because if she was, he didn't think he could control himself around her.
Wait.
Oh,
what?
All right. That's okay.
Yeah.
He's control gross himself.
Now. He's a piece of shit, so she can't play with them. Yeah.
So wait.
Wow.
He wants to stick his willy out, and it's her problem.
It's her fault. Yeah.
It's her fault.
I mean,
so
welcome to my world, boys.
So he is Louis C.K. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah. Comedians are weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Hate to say it, but man.
Anyway.
So yeah.
But anyway.
Fuck J.K. Rowling is the moral of the story, basically. And fuck that guy, whatever his name is.
Well, hopefully we're done with J.K. Rowling forever. No more Harry Potter content, right? There's no way something else will happen. And she'll try to milk that dead cow.
And she's actually like the author, isn't it? She's in charge of these new movies. She wrote and she has like the ultimate say. That's what I've heard. So if she wanted to make it gay, she could have.
And there are stage plays and stuff too. Like I've been seeing billboards for something. I don't even. It's like
there's one stage play. It's very divisive because I have friends who are like extreme Harry Potter fans, and some of them love the play, and some of them hate it with a passion. It's interesting. It's very divisive. The Cursed Child. And that's where you get the Black Hermione, because the original stage, the first like production of it started Black Hermione. People got upset, and what she did say, which like I don't think this was a wrong statement, but it was definitely kind of like, is basically J.K. Rowling was like, well, I described Hermione like this in the books. I never said whether she was white or black, instead of just being like, I don't care who they cast in the play.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit much.
Honestly, how do you write a story without it being tokenism? I feel like as long as it's not
question.
I mean, as long as it's not default, the tokenism argument can be used because it's not the default.
Never mention race about anybody ever in anything you write.
So, like, if J.K. Rowling right now she writes a new series and it stars a black female wizard or whatever is that tokenism? Is that just wanted to create something
So
for the
I
people
think if
who are
the
not
main
white.
character is most prominently identified by their race or gender or whatever, I don't think that's tokenism, but then it is the pandering problem again. Potentially.
But at the same time, when is it pandering and when is it like showing? I mean, like when is it showing like that inclusiveness? The one example I want to give for that, like, is I love Thor Ragnarok. A lot of the creators said, though, the writers said that Valkyrie is bisexual. Awesome, that's cool.
It wasn't shown.
There is no evidence of that in the movie.
You can't just do that.
You can't just so like in a I'm not saying that she had to come out to Thor and be like, I like boys and girls, but not because that's pandering, but that because it's bad writing. Mm-hmm. So I think that to me is like, yeah. And so what would I prefer? I don't know. It's just show her like looking at a girl, thinking she's hot or something and moving on. We all could see that she and Thor were attracted to each other. See her, just have like a scene with her and a girl and then be off with it or something. Like have a one-off thing like that. So like
but
for me, when it comes
Marvel,
to
I'm sure he could have done that.
I know.
Yeah.
But, like, when it comes to the issue of, like, is it pandering? To me, it's like, is it pandering or is it just bad writing? And I think, again, I like to look at it as a point of view of, like, what would it look like if it was a white, what we kind of see as, like, the majority default, and what would it look like if it's not, Is this seen as pandering if it was a white guy, or and out of it, that kind of thing?
Is it not pandering only when the creator is of that same ethnicity?
No. Not necessarily. I wouldn't give that as an absolute.
True. I just feel like we should start to move away from this pandering thing because I don't see it. I don't see it as.
I feel it's less of a problem than representation
helpful
is.
in the discussion.
Yeah,
I just can't see how it's helpful. I'm not sure.
Well, for me, I think like the problem with pandering is less than the problem of lack of representation. I guess it's my.
I feel like we should use the word exploiting way more than we are using it right now.
That's fair.
It's not pandering. J.K. Rowling is fucking exploiting it. Yeah, but I feel pandering. It sounds a bit nicer in a way. Exploiting is like
soft and just kind of
Yeah.
I mean, true. I don't know. We were talking about like how you define tokenism. I don't know personally. To me, like tokenism is when like you have a cast of all white characters and one of the characters is black. To me, that feels like tokenism.
That's very clearly on that side of the line for sure.
Especially if that black person just like is very stereotypical or something, or black magic guy.
Also, especially when you go, hey, look, we're diverse because we have the one guy. It's like
one guy,
like
But then you have these people who are like, if you see a group of like maybe just one white guy, one Asian female, one black female, one black guy, and then people are like, oh, they're just pandering to the minorities. And I'm like,
well, to them I just roll my eyes.
There's nothing you can do, honestly.
That's why I just kind of eye roll with that kind of stuff. Again, it's one thing like if it's like I said with the token.
Pretty much.
I know. I think at this point that's kind of why I'm just like just write the stories, and just write it.
It's because it's all about intentions, and there's no way to actually know the true intentions behind somebody. So it's all about perception of
So the creators have to be really, really good at showing, not telling.
Yeah.
That is the moral of the story this time. Show, not tell, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, to me, it's almost like here's this. Okay. The Hobbit movies, I saw all 3 Hobbit movies, and I basically, my opinion of them just decreased the more movies that came out. So the first movie, I quite enjoyed. It was, like, just kind of fun.
It was good enough,
Second movie, I was like, okay, this is getting kind of weird. And the third movie, I am sitting there just going, oh my lord, I'm almost out of here. Like, this is getting ridiculous. And that was an interesting case where they made up a new female elf character. In the first movie, like, she was cool. It was like, oh, wow, she's really cool. Finally, because a lot of, like, because Tolkien stories don't have a lot of, like, active female characters. There's female characters, but not, like, active female characters. Yeah. So, like, she was an active female character. Super cool. And then all of a sudden the second story comes, and we're like, okay, she has this weird romance with a dwarf. Why is this important? This is kind of getting a little bit weird. And in the third movie, she gets all crying about being in love and whatever. And you're just like, what? And then, unfortunately, it turned out that Peter Jackson included her to be able to get the female audience. I mean, at the same time, I'm not sure if I blame him. I think the way he did it was
wrong.
Shit. Yeah. It was horrible. I wouldn't necessarily be mad at the idea of it, just because to me it's like, yeah, okay, you want to include female audiences, and yes, that's for money, but at the same time, you wanted to include female audiences in a story that normally they don't necessarily feel included in. He did a shit job of it,
So, I actually have a
but I
question.
wouldn't.
Like, obviously, we want to have more representation, but is it sexist to think that women only want to watch women? It's like, oh, women can't like this movie because there's no women in it.
I think, that I think is a little bit of a dangerous kind of slippery slope-like argument to me, because it's not, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, if a company's like, we gotta include a woman in it because otherwise women won't watch it, to me it just is an eye roll of, like, when it comes to anything with capitalism, like,
Well,
especially with
kind
anything
of what
social...
you just said about that character.
Yeah, and I mean, so what I mean though is like, what I'm trying to get my mind into is like, whenever it comes to like capitalism with social justice, they don't really go hand in hand.
Sure.
But at this point, it's kind of like, we kind of have to play a little with the devil here. And so, is it sexist? Yeah, probably, but at the same time, like, to me, it's a little better than the alternative of, well, we don't have to include any women because, women will watch it anyway. Kind of thing. So,
I'm totally
know.
okay if creators are actively writing stories and including a bunch of different people in their stories. Like just actively thinking about it and creating those kind of stories.
Yeah. Just do it. Like, yes, you might want to make sure you do, make sure you don't necessarily be careful how you do it, of course. Especially when you get to things like trans and stuff like that. Be careful. But like, just do it. Just do it. Consult if you need to. Obviously, if it's an experience that you don't understand. Always consult. But, like, you do that with anything. Every writer always has to consult, Like,
yeah, they consult, like,
writers
people
don't
or whatever
know how
it is
smithing works or military works, so they consult and they learn about it. It's the same thing with people. So, like, is it sexist? I guess. But at the same time, I don't want them to think, well, we never have to include women. So, I don't know. I'll have them... I'm okay with it right now. Just because it gets them on screen.
I think you touched on it, though, when it's like capitalism's the fault there. Like, if you're writing a story with women in it, great. If you're writing a story and you only add a woman to try and get, like, a target demographic, that's almost like the definition of exploitative and pandering.
Yeah, it's just... But at this point, like... Captain Marvel... I loved Captain Marvel a lot. And I think... But I also know that movie would not have existed if the writers and the creators and everybody in the bigwigs didn't think, those women folk, they'll pay a lot of money to see a movie like this. Like, I know that a lot of it was intentionally done because they knew it was time and they wanted to tell that story. At the same time, it was never going to be written unless they knew it was going to make money. So... there's nothing we can really do about that. Same with Black Panther, by the way. I mean, 20 years ago, that film would have never been made. And their excuse would have been it wasn't going to make money. But then, people were pushing for it. And, of course, the idea is that we want to include those stories because they're important and we know better. At the same time, I'm not dumb. They also knew it would make money. So there's...
I think in the end, right now, creators just needs to keep creating diverse... so that we stray away to what is default, and then maybe nothing is default. So I don't mind if it's for an artsy interpretation or for capitalism. Just keep doing it until nothing is the default, and then nobody will say, "Oh, this is pandering," or "This is is just being exclusive just for the sake of making money." Like, I don't mind if you just want to make money. Just continue doing it until nothing is considered the default anymore.
Right.
Yep.
I agree.
I would say, out of all the movies that I've paid for in the Marvel Universe, Black Panther was the one was the...
It sounded like he finished the sentence, though, on a good point.
I think he finished his sentence. He's just frozen. Uh-oh.
Oh, are we frozen? God damn it.
Oh, you're back.
Okay, you're good now. You're back.
What was the last thing that I said?
I think you said as long as they keep... Basically, you were finishing your sentence. Like, as long as they keep creating. Yeah. Okay. You got it. Yeah. We got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any other news?
One big one and one small one that we forgot. Well, not small one. It's a big one, but we forgot. And as time goes by, it gets smaller and smaller. Pokemon Sword and Shield is a thing, and we totally forgot to mention it like a couple weeks ago. Super funny thing about this one is there was a Spanish game website, I believe. I think Spanish. So people have been creating memes for it because, of course, that's what you do, right? These days. So Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, and Pokemon Gun, and people were actually like
I
creating
saw that.
logo.
Yes, that was so
Yeah,
funny.
and this Spanish website, they basically reported about Pokemon Sword, Shield, and Gun coming in 2000 whatever. It's like
That's awesome.
you had one job, motherfucker.
Oh no.
Pokemon Gun confirmed by the Spanish.
I'm curious what it will be. Sword, shield, bow?
I don't know. They haven't done anything like that in a while. Was there a Pokemon Star?
No, I don't think so.
Mm-mm. There was no Pokemon Gray.
I mean, it's,
There was no Pokemon Z.
I think it's
Wasn't
because
there like I thought there was one for black and white, but I don't remember.
Black and White
No,
has
they
Black
did
and White
Black
too.
and White 2.
Oh yeah, Diamond and Pearl didn't have one, did it?
Diamond and Pearl had Crystal, right?
They had Crystal.
No, Crystal. Wait, really? I thought Crystal was for. Okay, I can't keep track anyway. It doesn't matter.
It's okay. I can't either. But no, they haven't had a third one in a pretty long time. Black and White
Okay.
didn't have one because everyone was like, gray. But then they made Black and White 2. X and Y didn't have one because people joked Z. And Sun and Moon didn't have one because people joked Star. So it's like,
The names usually coincide with the legendaries, right?
yes.
So we're gonna get a
Like the-
Sword legendary and a Shield legendary, sort of.
They've already, there's kind
already-
of been some leaks about it,
Well,
actually.
isn't there already like a Sword and Shield Pokemon?
Yeah, like literally a Sword and Shield Pokemon.
Yes.
They're not legendaries, but yes. Let me find
Oh, here
the
they are.
information.
Their names are Aegislash.
Aegis
Oh, no,
Slash,
it's
yeah.
just Aegislash. It's just Aegislash. And he has two forms,
Yeah.
it looks like, maybe? Or he evolves or something.
I think it evolves, yeah. And it seems like it's based in like the UK, right? Medieval steampunk UK or something.
Yes, Steampunk UK,
That's
which looks
pretty
pretty cool.
It looks
I
cool.
mean, I'll
I s-
definitely get one.
I'll
have to know
definitely
about
get
the
one.
exclusives before I decide.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just look it up. What are the exclusive
You
Pokemon and
can
then choose.
pre-order them already. They came out in December. It's like, why would you do that? There's no information to base your
Because
decision off
so many people buy both.
by both.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But still,
I
even then,
know.
why pre-order? It doesn't get you
Yeah.
anything.
They just want to get it early. Some people get it early, like a couple of days before it release, I guess. Maybe. Actually, Malaysia has, for whatever reason, I know what's the reason. Malaysia, some people who've pre-ordered games, like big AAA games, have gotten the games early by a couple of days. I think part of that is time zone, and also part of that is just retailers mixing up dates and stuff.
I don't know if this is true, but when I googled Aegislash, I see a picture of it's called Leak, and it says Armored Evolutions coming to Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't know if it's true, but it shows a Charizard in full plate armor, which actually looks pretty cool, and I want it to be true.
Yeah, I just read about that. The problem is that one thing I read said that was from a 4chan article that was
Yeah, I don't
deleted,
believe
so
it.
I don't know.
It looks very photoshopped, but
Yeah.
who knows?
I'm just gonna take my horribly anxious Sobble and run.
I'm
Poor little
I'm
anxiety
looking forward
Sobble.
to Detective Pikachu. Quite a lot,
I
actually.
am the movie.
Yeah, and I just saw the trailer
Oh,
like a month ago. I'm like,
yes.
okay, I'm super on board for this.
I am so on board with that movie. It's not even funny.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
watch it.
care when
calling
the
it-
announcement was announced, but the trailer, like, okay, this is hilarious.
When the announcement came out, I was like, "That's so weird." And I read the first trailer, I was sold. Just
Yep.
literally, it could just be the stupidest stuff, and I will watch it. I basically, you know what I think of it as, and this is probably kind of a dumb comparison, but I'm thinking of it as like this generation's Space Jam. And I don't know,
Oh,
I
sure.
watched so much Space Jam as a
I
kid,
watched it
and it's
so
a
many
really
times.
and it's such a dumb movie,
It
but I
is.
It's
loved
a
it.
dumb movie.
But to me, like, this is like another Space Jam, and I think that's why I'm so excited.
Honestly,
Could be.
the
So
I
the
think this will be
ending
better
was
than
the
Space
best
Jam.
bad part.
I think it will be too, actually.
You're talking about when he's
But-
interrogating the Mr. Mime?
You guys know there's gonna be a Space Jam 2, right?
I
There is?
didn't, and I don't
Yeah.
want it.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna star LeBron James.
No.
Oh no!
To be fair, LeBron James have been in a couple of movies, and he's actually not bad.
don't
He's
care.
he's probably better than Michael Jordan, honestly.
Sure. I mean, yeah. If they get a Bill Murray cameo, I'll see it, I guess.
But
The
didn't
only reason I'm mad is because it's just another playing on my '90s nostalgia, and
It's
I'm kind of sick of
exploitative
it.
of our 90s. My
You know,
childhood.
I'll be okay with that.
They're
I'm okay
pandering.
with using the whole exploitation of my '90s nostalgia because I'm getting
Double
sick of that
standard.
shit. No,
Yeah.
but really.
Ready
But anyway,
Player
no, I'm
One
so
again.
excited for Detective Pikachu. I'm so excited. Anyway, was there another news item that you had, Sean?
there's actually a couple of things. No Man's Sky is gonna come up with another huge update called
game's
No Man's Sky
still around?
Beyond. Yeah, they've been getting so many huge updates
a
for
waste
ever
of
since it
time.
released. Apparently, it's really good
How
now.
many players do they have?
I have no
I was
idea.
gonna say, how many players
Honestly,
still
they-
there?
There might be a lot of players because a lot of them bought it, pre-ordered. So,
That's true. It's
So the first component of Beyond will be No Man's Sky Online, a true multiplayer experience.
cool.
It's gonna be.
Oh, so we're
I mean,
just
it's,
like it says on their
yeah,
box.
it's already gotten like a multiplayer update where I think like 4 players can play on like the same map and build bases together and stuff. So I guess this one is gonna be a bigger version of that or some way. I'm not sure if it's gonna be paid DLC or not. I'm not. I don't think it would be a good idea to make it paid DLC. Personally, people will be pissed because it's supposed to be stuff that people were expecting it. No. We are excited to announce that Beyond will contain 3 major updates rolled into one larger free release. Okay, that's cool. Honestly, I've been thinking of getting it because the base building and all that has been pretty cool. So yeah.
Well, let us know if you're gonna eat your words.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
Well, I mean, if you took 3 years to make the game that you... Whatever.
Just promise to make like day one.
Yeah.
I know.
What else? Shit. Sony sent out a letter to retailers. This one was to GameStop. I keep mixing up GameSpot and GameStop. GameStop, but not just GameStop. Other retailers will be affected by this. PlayStation, Sony ain't gonna sell digital codes anymore on retailer stores. And people are like, so what is their games? Yeah, but there's no gifting. There's no gifting on PSN. You can't gift anything. If I want to gift Sarah a game on PlayStation, I have to buy it on Amazon. I can't gift it directly from PlayStation Network. So you better put in that fucking feature. So yeah.
Yikes! They better, cause what the heck, man?
Yeah.
Steam figured this out.
Yeah. Sony's
Steam figures everything out.
Sony's online component is just really bad. Like the UI, looking for games is just so bad.
Can't look for games, can't gift games. A lot of people can steal your information. It's a bad time.
Yeah. So the biggest news for me this past week, Google Stadia is okay, whatever, I don't care. But this one, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was announced.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 was a cult classic. It was a tabletop RPG that, became a action RPG.
Still a tabletop RPG that's quite fun.
It has a lot of flaws, a lot of bugs that modders were required to create patches for it. Basically, the only reason why the game is playable is because of modders. But Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is being published by Paradox. They bought the rights to the game. And the team that is going to be making it is... God damn it, I can't remember the name. But they've only made one first-person shooter game. It was a free-to-play first-person shooter game, so I'm not sure how it's going to be. But judging from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a first-person game. And I'm super excited for it. I enjoyed the first one as much as I could play it, because buggy as hell. Just the amount of choices and all that was allowed. And the lead writer of the first game is coming back to write the second game. And that's the biggest strong point of the whole thing. There's just a story and all. So that's really cool. I did not see this coming at all. 2000.
Wow.
Yeah, they kind of teased it because they did an ARG a while back. So yeah. The first game came out in 2004 and we're finally getting a sequel. That's super cool.
I might have to look into it. Yeah, I never got into the first one because it was kind of buggy and stuff like that. I was like, I don't want to try to make this work. But it is kind of up my alley. It's kind of like a role play. It's a role play.
Oh yeah,
game,
it's full on role play. So yeah, and then you have to choose. I think how much of humanity or something you're gonna lose by. You can be good and evil sort of, but you're a vampire.
Yeah, which is kind of in the tabletop version of the game. The tabletop game comes from a bigger set of games called World of Darkness, and the vampire is one sect of it. It's just the most popular, most well-fleshed out one. And in that one, if you're a vampire, for instance, because you could play a human, but if you're a vampire, one of your stats is basically a kind of a gradient of how much monster or how much human you are. And the more monster you are, basically that's when you give more into your, you're more dangerous and hard to control, but you're also more powerful. So that's the trade-off. The more human you are, the more in control you are, but the less powerful you are. So in the game mechanics, so to speak, which I assume is very similar to the game too, but I don't know.
So yeah, it's already up for pre-order on like Steam and a couple other places. GOG is gonna be a full-on $60 game, and it's gonna come out quarter first of 2020. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's probably my most this Cyberpunk 2077 and this one is like my most look forward games right now. I'm just gonna suck everyone.
Did you get that vampire game?
Did you get it?
Vampire? I actually didn't. I considered it, but I'll wait for even more. It wasn't on sale enough. I'm being greedy.
It was 50% off, right?
Yeah, I wanted a little more.
Was it like a $25 game at that point?
Yeah. I think I wanted it to be 20 or less.
Yeah. I heard that Vampire has really cool ideas, interesting story, but the gameplay kind of has that little like Euro jank to it.
Dang.
Just move the way your character moves and stuff. But hopefully they patched it. I think they might have. They released some updates for it. It's definitely a game I've been looking forward to, and I might get as it goes down more in price.
Yeah.
How do you even pronounce that? PYR. Is it vampire or vampire?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Either one.
So yeah, I mean, I'm super into this like historical settings where you play non-historical people, like just weird ass shit. So yeah, I think that's it. There was a lot of news. We mostly talked about brown people, I guess. Yeah, Google Stadia, pick up the idea. So yes, it's the thing to do the thing. Time to do the thing.
Time to do the thing that's awkward. All right, I'll go first. You guys, I'm Sarahscopic, SARHSCOPIC. I will be on YouTube. You should watch my latest video and give me ideas of what games to play. Do it right now. I dare you. I'm also on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Checkpoint XP. You can hear me on twitch.tv/CheckpointXP around 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, where I read the news and answer social media questions. You can also hear me at another podcast, Not Your Player 2, which is also through Checkpoint XP on Twitch, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays. Say hi.
And I'm Foehamner on YouTube. I have an idea of what to play, but I would also be curious in hearing input on what people actually want to see me play, because those can be two very different things.
Yes.
That's pretty much it, yeah. Just YouTube, Foehamner.
I am Pupunoob, Pupunoob on YouTube and Twitter. Follow me or don't follow me, whatever, man. Whatever, people. Just a real quick one. So, Judgment or Judge Eyes, which is that game by the Yakuza people, the Yakuza team.
Yeah.
Not Yakuza's, like the people who made the games Yakuza. So, Judge Eyes or Judgment is getting a Western release, right? It's coming out in like June or something. And it's basically you play like a detective kind of thing, and it's I think running on the latest Yakuza engine. And it's actually set in Kamurocho, which is the town that Yakuza is set in. So one of the actors was caught with like cocaine and was arrested, and Japan's drug laws are like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they were like thinking of pulling the release of the Western release. And then Sega announced that they will be adjusting the Western release of the game by removing the character model and the voice actor of that character. And I'm just wondering, like, how the hell are they going to do it now? They're probably going to do like some quick... I have no idea, honestly.
I don't know what they're going to do. That's ridiculous. Guys, come on.
That really sucks. I know like Japan has like super... I'm not sure if they're doing it for... I don't know. I'm not sure if it's something that they felt like they needed to, or the law told them to.
That's weird.
Or I'm not sure, honestly. It's probably an image
appearances.
Thing.
Yeah.
So that really sucks. I really wanted to play the game, as is.
It's not even like... Yeah, it's not even... Okay, like, no offense, but like, cocaine, like... If it was a different kind of crime, maybe I'd be a little more understanding.
Like he fiddled kids or some shit, right?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
I can put a line to these things.
I don't think he was selling. He was just using, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a victimist crime. I mean, he probably needs to be careful, because it's probably not good for him. But
yeah, So yeah, that's a very upbeat way to end the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, it's episode 151, guys.
Yes, episode 151. Thank you for listening and watching and, stuff. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.